38 states and the low income. Watch for it, as this is pretty important. I have all the details and what you need to know right here in the video, so let's get right into it. I know in this video, I do want to share with you the details of a new report that was released highlighting 38 states and nearly 4 million low-income Americans. Now, this is something very important that we need to watch because these 4 million low-income Americans is likely going to increase well over 10 million people relatively soon, as this is in full swing and there's a lot more to go. This is very important stuff. I want to bring it to your attention here in this video and what you need to watch for, so let's get right into it. Really fast before we do, thanks so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe right down below the video. It's totally free to do so, and I'm here for you right by your side every single day, watching the latest details hitting the wire and breaking it all down into these short videos so you can stay posted on what is actually going on and how it may impact you, your money, your benefits, your lifestyle, your bank account, and of course anything popping up right now you can possibly grab and or take advantage of, including money, benefits, raises to benefits, checks, programs, stimulus, anything else like that. Of course, I want to bring it to your attention immediately so you can possibly grab it. So again, thanks so much for being here. Please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and let's get into it and talk about the details of this report. 38 states that are included, nearly 4 million low-income Americans, and how this number is going to get a lot bigger here over the coming months. All right, so I want to bring this to your attention. Now, to be fair, this is something that I've been talking about a little bit here over the last handful of months. However, we're starting to get some evidence behind this and what all of this means, as this is highly focused on the low income, okay? It is not focused on the high income. It's only focused on the low income, and this is something that they changed, and I want to bring this to your attention. All right, so starting back in April, in fact, it was a few months ago, well, it's more than a few months ago now, but this whole thing started back in April of this year, 2023, okay? So what happened is these states started this Medicaid unwinding. Does that sound familiar? Yeah, if you've been watching the videos here on the channel for a while now, you probably heard me talk about this. The great Medicaid unwind, okay? Not Medicare, I apologize. Medicaid is what we're talking about here, okay? So prior to April of 2023, there was about 93 million people enrolled in Medicaid all across the country, which increased by about 22 million people over the last couple years here, because there was this new rule that went into effect as a result of the Public Health Emergency Declaration, where basically people could enroll in Medicaid but not be removed from the program. So the rolls increased significantly over the last few years. Well, in April, a handful of states jumped on and they started doing this Medicaid unwinding. Well, then in May, we got a bunch more states that came on doing this Medicaid unwinding. Here we are several months later, and most of the states are doing this now. In fact, all of the states should be doing this now, as in the Medicaid unwinding, okay? But here's the big problem. According to a recent report that was just released, 38 states are reporting now that they have removed nearly 4 million people from Medicaid, okay? 3.8 million people have been removed from Medicaid just so far. Now, let me break down some more numbers here for you, because this is just the start. Now, remember, basically what they're doing is they're sending out letters, okay? All these states across the country are sending out letters and basically asking all Medicaid beneficiaries to reapply for benefits to determine their eligibility for these benefits, because that is their best way of determining who's eligible, who's not, and then basically removing the people who are not eligible based on eligibility requirements for Medicaid. Well, what they're finding is that they have processed a very small percentage of the applications that have come back, as in the paperwork. In fact, according to the numbers that I've been seeing, they've processed about 1/5 of all the paperwork that has come back. And as a result of that, they've already removed nearly 4 million people. 3.8 million people have been removed from Medicaid as a result of this, okay? Now, here's the thing I want to point out really quickly. Maybe you've seen some of my other videos talking about this, where I've said, look out, be on the lookout, watch your mail. You'll be getting some kind of letters or something like that from your state, some type of paperwork that asks you to fill this out, and you got to fill it out in its entirety and send it back relatively quickly to make sure that you remain on Medicaid and not be removed from the rolls, okay? In fact, on some of my previous videos over the last, 3-4 months here or so that I've talked about this, I've seen some messages coming in, some comments down below in the comment section from some of you that have said, I received it, I filled it out, and I sent it back. Good job. Seriously, that's great, okay? But here's what they're finding, is that they've only processed 1/5 of all the paperwork, okay? They have a lot of paperwork to go, and they've already removed nearly 4 million people. Now, here's what they've also found from this report, okay? they found 73% of the people that are being removed from this are being removed because the paperwork was not filled out in its entirety, or all of the paperwork was not sent back to them when the paperwork was, resubmitted back to the office or the state, okay? So basically what happens is, I'm just going to make up an example here. Let's just say that there's 3 pieces of paper, okay? You have to fill out all 3 pieces of paper. Let's just say when somebody sends it back, they send back 2 pieces of paper. Wait, we missed one, okay? As a result of that, sorry, you lose benefits, okay? So what they're finding is that 73% of people that are being removed because of those 2 reasons. Number 1, all of the paperwork was not submitted back to the office, or some of the paperwork that was filled out was not filled out in its entirety, basically subjecting that person to loss of benefits, okay? Not good stuff. This is bad stuff right here. Nearly 4 million people already, as I've said multiple times already in this video. That is a lot of people. Now, here's the thing. If they have processed, say, 1/5 of the paperwork so far, and we have, call it 4 million people, if we run the math on this, okay, if we multiply that by, well, basically 5 times, we're going to be looking at just under, 20 million people? We're looking at just under 20 million people if the numbers stay stagnant or stay, kind of relevant as they move forward with this. That's a lot of people. Now remember, as we were approaching this Medicaid unwinding, I was saying for several months, the end of last year, the first few months of this year, I was saying, according to the numbers, they're looking at anywhere between about 6.3 and 25 million people losing benefits. That's not good, okay? According to the numbers that I just ran really fast there, right there, just as I talked through it, we're looking at like 20 million people as the numbers currently sit right now. That's really bad, okay? That's a ton of people, okay? So I just want to encourage you, if you are a Medicaid beneficiary, okay? I want to re-emphasize this. Medicaid, not Medicare, okay? Medicare is totally different. Medicaid, okay? If you're a Medicaid beneficiary, if you're enrolled in Medicaid, please watch your mail very, very closely. Most of the states are sending out / have already sent out the paperwork. If you have not received the paperwork yet, just be on the lookout for it, okay? You should be getting some type of paperwork, some type of communication from your state. They're going to ask you to fill it out in its entirety. Make sure that that's very important, okay? Fill it out in its entirety and try to get back to them as quickly as possible so you can keep your Medicaid benefits. And again, I don't want to sit here and scare anybody. That is not my intention whatsoever. I want to make sure that you remain on the Medicaid rolls and make sure that you get your benefit, because here's what's bad. Let's just say that something happens, or let's just say that you have a routine doctor's appointment, something like that. You walk into the office and they say, can I see your insurance or whatever they say, right? You show them your stuff and they type it all in and say, I'm sorry, you don't have benefits anymore. You are not enrolled in Medicaid anymore. Excuse me? I'm pretty sure I am, right? No, I'm sorry. You've been removed, or whatever they say. You know what I mean? My point is, it'd be a huge, huge headache to find out after the fact that, wait, I lost my benefits, versus just doing the necessary steps to get it done, okay? This is something that's going on right now. There's no way around it, unfortunately. I've been talking about this for, 10 months, probably 10 months or so, maybe even longer than that. I've been talking about this for a very long time. Leading up to it, I said, get ready, everybody. This is going to be happening. This will be a thing. We don't know when it's going to happen. Well, then, ultimately, when the public health emergency declaration ended, we know that right away, April, May, June, July, all of these months, states started jumping on, and most states at this point should be on in doing this, sending out letters and stuff like that. In fact, I come across articles and headlines almost every single day that says some state with how many hundreds of thousands or millions of people have already been unenrolled in a certain area, region, or specific state. Like, for example, Illinois lost 250,000 people. Maryland lost 120,000 people, or just stuff like this. I see these numbers literally every single day. Millions of people across the country. Very important stuff. So I just want to encourage you, if you get your paperwork, if you happen to see it at some point, just make sure to fill that out as quickly as you can and get it back to them. Now, it doesn't mean you need to rush and get it done same day, but if you can get it done within a relatively short amount of time, just make sure you get that back to them, okay? This is what they're doing to determine eligibility. I don't know. Seems like there's got to be a better way, right? I mean, seriously, mailing out paperwork to people and having them fill it out by hand and then send it back. I just feel like, seriously? Like, what year is this? Everything is digital now, right? Everything is electronic. Everything is on a computer or a smartphone or a tablet. Why do we need to do physical paper now, right? I don't know. It just seems like a really slow and clunky process when they could just digitize all of this, and it would be so much faster, and it would save a lot of people a huge, huge headache at some point in the future. Make sense? I don't know. But what do I know, right? I'm just some guy, right? I don't run the system. I don't know what's going on as far as what all these states are doing, but I'm just simply saying it seems like a much more, it'd be much more efficient to have an electronic process versus just doing all this stuff with the paperwork. But this is what they're doing, and this is what we have to do with it. So anyway, I want to bring this to your attention. I fear that these numbers are going to get a lot bigger here in the future, and unfortunately, that is going to be the reality. We already know it, okay? They're telling us already this is just a small portion of the total number of people that will be unenrolled from Medicaid. Bad stuff here, right? So anyway, hope this one helps you. And again, just want to bring this to your attention to what's going on here. Please watch for that paperwork if you happen to get it. Otherwise, there are a few states out there that may have this set up as electronic options. I did see some information, I don't know, maybe 2 months ago or something like that, maybe a month ago, I don't know, that said about 13 states are set up for electronic communication. So 13? I guess we're getting there, right? Maybe in 2024 we'll get all 50 states on board, right? I don't know. It just seems so weird to me that it's still paperwork. Anyway, this is what they're dealing with right now. So again, I just want to bring this to your attention really quickly so we can all be on the same page here and you can be very aware of what's going on. I hope that none of you here in the community have to deal with unenrollment of Medicaid. But let's just hope that that's not the case for anybody. Anyway, hope this helps you. Again, share this video with your friends, family, social media. Subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share the video. And again, go back and check out any of the other thousands and thousands of videos here on the channel. Leave your comments, your questions, your feedback down below. If you need me to come back and elaborate further, of course, I can certainly do that for you. Let me know what you need, and I'll do what I can to help you out during this time. Enjoy your day. Take care. Have a good one. Don't worry about this too much. Honestly, don't get scared about it. I'm just trying to bring this to your attention so we can all, understand what's going on here and, this big operation that's going on out there that is not really serving the people in a great way. Anyway, enjoy.